Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Let us not forget the sacrifice made for us on this very day, Veterans Day 2018. The coin represented here, I'm sure I've showed in previous Veterans Day messages, and it represents the disabled veterans of the United States of America. But most of us in every nation around the earth have the men and women who fight to protect their nations. This message really goes out to all of us. In every country, any kind of country where we have freedoms and rights that are recognized by our governments, we recognize the defenders of freedom. And as the people who serve in the United States Armed Forces and in the armed forces of other nations around the world who protect us and preserve civilization as we know it. Yes, indeed. You know, there's disabled veterans who've actually been wounded in battle physically, but there's also emotional wounds as well. And the suicide rate among veterans is very high. And so we should appreciate them for what they do. I was at a local restaurant recently, and there was a Vietnam veteran there. And before I could thank the person for their service, someone else did. And I think it's great that we do respect and honor those who do serve and have served in our armed forces, because they do sacrifice so much. It's time, their lives, their livelihoods, and their mental health as well is sacrificed many times, especially those who have seen combat and war. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a very real thing, and it's only until recently that it's been named as such. World War I is when it really came to the forefront. It was known as shell shock back then. Today marks the 11th of November, Armistice Day, the end of World War I, the United States. And it was the first really great war, a worldwide conflict, indeed. It's fitting that today is that day that we recognize it and also remember our veterans who stood up for us. And that's what this video is about. So I want to extend a huge multitude of gratitude to those of you who have served and are serving right now in the military, and to also those of other nations who serve or have served. You know, our vets that have fought in the wars have gone past, especially World War II. That generation is dying off. I remember when I was a kid, I saw a World War I veteran, and I was awestruck, amazed. It's a very old man in his uniform, and just amazing that part of history, the doughboys of World War I, Armistice Day today, 2018, 100 years ago, the Great War ended, and thus then a couple decades later, another war broke out, World War II. And imagine what life would have been like had the Axis powers won. You know, it's just, it's amazing how things work and how divine providence can come into play. No matter how you feel about conflicts and war, you know, we can all come together and appreciate those who have served in the armed forces for us. Because in the end, they are doing a job and they are volunteering nowadays to do this and to put their lives on the line. So we should thank them, show them gratitude and kindness for what they do. So again, thank you for all who have served, and a multitude of gratitude to you all.